Hang on.
Tammy? Are you okay? Tammy?
It used to be where we pretty much ate the same thing at night for dinner. But now I'm having to make meals.
Oh my goodness. So is that lard, basically just pure body fat that she's putting on the tray before she puts whatever she's about to put in? Hang on. Wow. Hey, little Frugie. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Freelee. I'm a fruit-based nutritionist, and we're about to react to my 600-pound life. So this episode, Tamy Lyn is 45 years old, and she's 591 pounds. She's almost 600 pounds. She's a big lady, all right? So we're about to get into it. Before we do, make sure you check out the Raw Till 4 diet. This is a book that I recommend if you're wanting to start a fruit-based diet. It is amazing, has over 55 recipes that are incredible and simple and tasty. Meal plan, 30-day meal plan, shopping list, testimonials, everything you need. This is a full diet prescription, this one. So check it out. There's a link in the description below. And I also do signed autographed copies with a paragraph written in it just for you. And I send it to you wherever you are in the world. There's a link to all my books and my services down below in the description. All right. Whoop. Okay, let's get into it. Tammy, what do you got for us? Okay, Covington KY. KY. I'm going to try and work that out by the end of the video. Oh, wow. Let me just take in this scene for a moment. Look at that mass that she's carrying there of fat and fluid. Wow, her legs actually look fairly normal in that position. And what has she got up there? What has she got up near her head there? Is that the oxygen? Is that the oxygen tank? It looks like a mini vacuum cleaner or something. Okay, wow, shocking. That took a while just to get upright. Incredible. She's like carrying like an extra human between her legs.
The first thing that happens each morning is I get out of bed and my stomach nearly hits the floor.
Oh my goodness. What? It's like a tongue. It reminds me of a tongue, right? Between. That's just next level. I haven't seen one this pronounced, like nearly touching the ground like this. Incredible. Fupa. They call them a fupa, right?
It just hangs there. And it is putting intense pressure on the rest of my body. My belly is sagging more and more, and it feels like I'm always off balance. Living in my body, it's miserable.
Oh wow, that okay, just a shot of her in the seat was next level.
Every day, little things are such an issue. You know, if I didn't have this big mass of fat and everything in front of me, everything else wouldn't be as difficult to do. Can't stand in the shower. I'm just too scared of falling. So I sit on the side of the tub, I wet the tub down, and then I kind of slide down into the tub, which I barely fit into it.
Wow, I'm actually shocked that she's going to sit in there because like the risk of her actually getting stuck there. Remember the other lady, what was her name? She fell over and they had to get the fire department to pick her up. If you haven't seen that one, check out my 600-pound life episodes. But you know, she could get stuck there and not get up. I'm not sure if she has a feeder at this point, but we will find out very soon, I'm sure.
I like to do as much as I can for myself when it comes to taking a bath. I don't like to ask for help if I can try not to. I want to keep what little independence I have left.
Oh wow, just that scene, right? Just taking in that full scene. Looks like a huge tongue right here. This is just crazy. Like there's so many individuals, you know, on TikTok who are promoting obesity. You know, they're like, oh, you know, it's good, love your body, you are beautiful no matter what your size. It's not true. No, when you disfiguring your body can never be seen as beautiful. This is not beautiful, okay? And she knows it. We all know it. Let's stop lying to each other, okay? Because it's not helping her. It's not helping anyone. It's not helping her get better. So it's really cruel that these people are on TikTok dancing around, obese and even morbidly obese, some of them, and saying, hey, this is great, you're fine, just accept yourself how you are, you're beautiful, you don't have to change. That's disgusting.
Little independence I have left. I'll watch what I can reach.
Dave, can you come here and help me, please?
Yeah.
Okay, and enter the feeder, James. All right, so she said she tries to say independent, a little bit of independence, washing herself a bit. I mean, seriously, you haven't really done much and you're already calling someone. I would not call this being independent on any level. She's just, anyway, I guess it's just a subjective thing, isn't it?
And then my husband will help me with things I can't reach.
Never let yourself get here.
Anything below my stomach, I have to have help with. I can't reach nothing down there.
I do a lot for Tammy because she can't do it. It's very shocking to see her get like this.
Super romantic, right? With your partner doing that for you.
And she's just getting worse and worse.
Yeah, and I bet you're helping her get worse and worse because I'm sure you're feeding her or you've got something to do with that, or you're not actually trying to stop her from eating the junk. We'll see. I'm not sure at this point.
Nobody imagined.
Oh, wow. So she barely actually fits in the bathtub. She's spilling over the bathtub. That's incredible.
They will be 45 and bathed like a child. But here I am, and this is my reality.
Yes, you allowed yourself to get there.
Sit up now?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
When I look down and see what has become of my body, I feel shame. I'm so disgusted with myself.
But not really to the point of wanting to change. Well, now, yes, going to see a doctor now, she's going to likely change, but do you know what I mean? Like, they say a lot, they're like, it's disgusting, I hate people like helping me, I don't want to be a burden, all this stuff, but they just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they don't take responsibility. So I want to see the action. I hear a lot of words, but not a lot of action with these individuals.
I hate my whole body, but the part of my body that I hate the most is my stomach. My belly's gotten to the point where it's got a mind of its own. It does what it wants, it goes where it wants.
The belly is leading the way. The fupa, they call it the fupa.
I feel like I have bowling balls in between my legs. And it's so painful. I can't even sit on the bed like a normal person. Because my belly hangs off so much. Even drying myself is a chore because being my size, I can't lift my belly up to dry underneath it. So,
I mean, when you think about it, she could actually use her belly as exercise, a form of exercise. She could just put her hands down there and try to do some reps with the big tongue, right? She could just do that and that would get her somewhere. That would be something. She could use her own body as a form of exercise. You got to just do what you got to do.
my fan has to do a lot of my drying. And, it's difficult. If I sit up too long, it hurts. My whole body hurts. And I know this is my fault. I let myself get here.
Excellent. I like her. Good. I love to hear that. It's my fault. I let myself get here. I think this is the first time we've actually heard one of these individuals take that level of responsibility. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's good. Good start.
I never
But I mean, you can say that, but if you're not changing anything, you're still choosing it. If you're not changing it, you're choosing it.
thought my life was going to be like this. I was the youngest child in our family. My brother was 11 years older, and my sister was 19 years older than me. So I essentially
So she was probably spoilt on some level.
grew up alone with my mom and dad. And as a small child, I was a pretty normal size. But socially, I wasn't like everybody else. I'd get very nervous. I'd stutter. Kids would make fun of me.
Yeah, I used to be a nervous child as well, and I used to actually have a speech impediment, and I saw a speech therapist because of my nerves. So I can relate.
It just made me feel horrible. But when I was 8, my life changed in an instant. My mom and I were in the kitchen fixing something, and my dad was walking into the living room. And he collapsed and fell to the floor, had a heart attack, and died. After my father passed away, my life was never the same. My mom just fell apart.
Okay, so you can see Mum is obese, very obese. I'm not sure about the rest of her body, but you can see in her face, you can see where the eating habits came from easily.
She had a hard time getting out of bed. And she went into a deep depression. And it was like, I lost my mom too. So I'm this little kid at home with nobody to really take care of me. Because my mom wasn't there, I turned to the food. I could just eat whatever I wanted, when I wanted.
Okay, so that's a problem. That's bad parenting, to allow the child to eat whatever they want, whenever they want. They need guidance when they're young. If there's just junk food as well, or in the cupboards, in the fridge, and that's what they can just go and grab whenever they want, that's a recipe for disaster. That's a recipe for morbid obesity.
And it was my friend. It was my parent, my loved one. And when I was about 10, I was the one that did all the shopping for my mom. And if I wanted soda, I bought it. If I wanted pie, I bought it. If I wanted ice cream, I bought it. Because she would just give me money and she let me get whatever I wanted.
Wow, so yeah, really irresponsible parenting, and it's essentially ruined a lot of her life. You can see the situation she's in now. You can see where it started.
So I ate junk food all the time. And I would eat to the point of being sick. I don't know why I did it. It was just, I wanted it, so I ate it.
Yeah, I mean, the reason that you eat until you're sick when you're a child, because these children need a lot of carbohydrates, that is for sure, and a lot of calories in general, and nutrition, obviously good nutrition, and she wasn't getting that, so she was malnourished, so the brain is like, get me more food, but they continue choosing the wrong food, and she's a child, so she doesn't know. The mother obviously, has just lost it. So yeah, you can see when they're malnourished as well, you're going to choose, and you're not educated, you're going to make the wrong choices and continue not having enough nutrition.
When I was 14, I weighed around 140 pounds. I got bullied a lot in school about my weight. And by the time I dropped out of high school at age 16, I was already well over 175 pounds. And by this time, my mom was in and out of the hospital for her depression, so I needed to get a job.
Looks like she's smoking there as well. Yeah, great example for her to grow up with.
I started as a janitor, working nights, and when I was 18, I met James. He
Wow, so they've been together a long time. Okay.
was a janitor too. James was the first person who ever paid attention to me.
I tend to like bigger girls, so that's what attracted me to Tammy.
He likes bigger girls. Look, hang on, I think we're gone past the bigger stage here. Well, at that point, she was a few hundred pounds.
She was a big girl.
Obviously, there's a difference between being like bigger and being obese, like she is in this picture, right?
It was kind of love at first sight.
So things just moved very fast. And I got pregnant about a month after we started dating. And for the first time in my whole
Oh, a month after they first started dating. Heck, that is fast.
life, things seemed good. But that didn't last long. James and I started fighting a lot.
You should get to know the human first before you create new life with them, okay? Because otherwise you could have a really bad relationship and bring up broken children, you know?
When we were,
Bring broken adults into the world from the upbringing.
I didn't know that I had a problem with bipolar. And that really did a number on our relationship, you know, because I would have these anger outbursts.
He looks like her son there. Look how young he looks. Okay.
We'd sit there and talk about how I was a slob, how I was a fat cow, or I was just more or less a horrible person.
Calling her a fat cow. Dude, you said you liked bigger women and now she's a fat cow. I mean, just talk about mixed messages. Just quickly, check out Rosie's transformation on a fruit-based lifestyle. She lost 80 pounds. This is her in the start, you can see on the left, and 2012, and August 2013, she has transformed completely. So these before shots really tell us all we need to know. Rosie is carrying too much weight for her body. She's not feeling good. She's feeling lethargic. She doesn't have the energy. She wants to, she needs a change. She needs a change in her life. And that's what she did when she found a fruit-based diet. Her life completely changed when she actually implemented the recommendations. And then a bit over 1 year later, we have Rosie just looking vibrant after losing 80 pounds and completely transformed. She's got energy now. She feels like she's got a new lease of life, and you can have this too. No more calorie restricting, no more carb restricting. Check out a fruit-based diet. There's a link in the description below to my guides, to my meal plans, and you can transform just like Rosie has.
And emotionally, it would just tear me apart. Eating more made me feel better. The food was not going to yell at me. That's not going to argue with me. That's going to be nice to me at that moment.
I'm glad she put at that moment.
And by the time I was 25, I was over 300 pounds, and I didn't feel good about myself. And a few years later, I found out James had had an affair with a really good friend of mine.
Oh no, another one of these dudes. Had an affair with a really good friend of hers. What a class act. Well, you got a real catch there. Calling you a fat cow, having an affair with your friend, your good friend. So hopefully she got rid of him.
And I was devastated.
Oh, but I can imagine, like, if you don't keep yourself healthy and in reasonable shape, then your partner is going to lose their attraction to you. That is natural and normal. And it's something to consider, right? I'm not condoning what he did, that's for sure, but I'm just saying you've got to think about that.
I felt guilty. I felt like it was my fault. Did he cheat because I'm fat and ugly? We had been talking about separating, and...
Well, I mean, the ugly thing is very subjective, but the fat comment, you do have to take into consideration. If you are obese, then it's going to affect your whole life and how you relate to others. Things are more difficult. You have more issues, health problems, and you're less active. There's a lot of things that come with being out of shape that you need to consider that the partner is also going to notice.
And I had found out I was pregnant. So we had no choice and decided to give our marriage a second chance.
She hasn't heard of birth control at all. I mean, or condoms, or they got a bad relationship, they're breaking up, and she's having another child. I don't know. I just think this is not good.
By the time I gave birth to Zachary, I was 28 years old and almost 400 pounds. And then me and James finally had decided that our marriage wasn't working when Zachary was about 1.5 years old.
Oh, she needs to just move away from this guy. It's obviously not working if they're going to be breaking up this often.
We decided to go our separate ways. And I moved out for a while, but couldn't make it on my own. So James took us back in.
Oh gosh, that's humiliating. So she basically just begged to be taken back in by him. So now he's become like a carer rather than a partner. It seems like that. That's really awkward.
And around this time, we learned that Zachary had special needs.
Okay, there's something else. Sorry, I'm stopping it a lot, but there's something else you have to consider, that the chances of something happening with your child is going to be, the risk is going to be far higher if you are out of shape, if you're obese, and you have, you know, subsequent health issues as a result of that, which is, it's just it's statistics. You're going to be susceptible to all the major illnesses, more susceptible if you're obese. There's a whole lot of other issues, and then you're procreating. You've got to think about how that affects, you know, your pregnancy and your child and everything.
I had to quit my job and stay home to take care of him, which required a lot from us and added a lot of stress. I just kept eating and gaining weight.
She had to quit her job and look after him. Okay.
During my late 30s, I was around 450 pounds. And
I bet she hasn't had a job for a long, long time and is probably on benefits. Something to think about as well, the impact on the community, on taxpayers, on, you know, the healthcare system.
I was very depressed, and I started having health problems. I couldn't get out and do just simple things that I had been able to do, you know, 6 months to a year before that.
Maybe it's time to just take a step back, look in the mirror and go, hey, I'm just like, I gotta stop now. This is it. I'm a huge burden on others, and I'm totally like, I can hardly move anymore. I gotta stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, why this is not happening?
That's when I noticed a lot of weight was going to my stomach. And after that, it got even worse. My stomach started to...
Wow. Not it got even worse. You allowed it to get even worse. Obesity is a choice. This situation is a choice. She made this choice. If you're not changing it, you're choosing it. Just no excuses.
slowly hang lower and lower. And in my early 40s, I realized I was over 500 pounds. I was mortified. It just made me so sick to know that I had gotten that big.
But you still got bigger.
And now I don't know what I weigh, but I'm afraid I'm close to 600 pounds. My weight has made it nearly impossible for me to be self-reliant.
Don't forget that sentence. My weight has made it nearly impossible for me to be self-reliant. And then that is a huge burden on the rest of society. So you need to think about that as an individual. If you are in this situation, you need to think, hey, who else am I affecting? It's time that I made a change. I'm sick of being a burden on the rest of the community, because that's what ends up happening. We can't not talk about this. Taxpayers are paying a lot in regards to people who are morbidly obese, and even obesity as well. It's a huge, huge cost to the government, the system in general.
Thing that I sit and I can really do for myself, and it's not without help, is to sit down and cook a meal.
Hey, Zachary?
Yes?
Can you come here? So I need a few things out of the fridge.
Okay.
Grab me the hamburger and the cheese out of the fridge. I think it's in the bottom.
Okay, now she's got her little helper. Zachary has grown up and he's become her helper, right?
My son Zachary is 16, and because of my weight, I have to rely on Zachary more and more, instead of him being able to depend on me.
She seems quite comfortable in that role, just by the way she's talking to him and everything. It's very normal. She's not changing anything.
My mom was the most important person in my life. I wouldn't be myself at all without her.
I think that's it for right now.
I think you could have had a better life in another family. Let's just be real about that. This is really, really sad for children to be brought up this way.
If I need anything, I'll let you know.
I feel guilty, I feel bad, because this is not how things are supposed to be.
I don't feel the guilt from her. I don't feel it. Doesn't feel like she's feeling bad.
It's just the most kind of humiliating thing to ask for help all the time.
Yeah, but you're doing it very comfortably. You sound like you've, it just sounds very normal. It doesn't sound like she's uncomfortable. It sounds like she's fully just, accepted that role.
If I need anything, I'll let you know.
Got enough cheese there?
Dinner's done.
Okay. Since Tammy's lived with me,
He was like, just came out of some dark room up the other end of the house. Oh.
her eating habits have gotten worse. I tried to tell her that
Hang on, like, why is she putting the butter on top of that horrendous looking plate of heart attack food? Like, she doesn't need to put that extra fat on top, but she does. And this is something I want to point out. People like myself, people who actually try to stay in shape, who care about their health, don't make these choices. I could, for sure. I'd be like, oh, yummy. Yeah, cool. That would taste better. But I don't want to, destroy my health, destroy my body. So you have to remember, this is the difference between those who are trying to maintain a normal weight and those who just don't care. It's easy to make this choice, but it's so unnecessary to add that extra fat.
she shouldn't eat like she does. What do you say?
Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome, sweetie.
And I try not to enable Tammy, but she gets mad if she don't get what she wants.
Are you a man or a mouse? She gets mad. She's literally like, do you think she's going to come and like beat you up? I don't think so. You could easily get away from her. That's just a cop-out, bro. Absolute cop-out. If you are not trying to help her change her situation by saying, hey, if you're going to live with me, you're not going to eat that crap, then you're just enabling her. And you seem to be comfortable in that position because now you're just eating the crap that she made you.
So, in order to keep that tension down, I do it.
Take responsibility. You want to eat that way. You like the women to be bigger as well. We already established this earlier. I don't buy what he's saying at all. He has the control. He's the one who took her back in. He could just say, no, you're not coming back in if you're going to eat that crap.
How much you want?
More than that.
And there you go. He's serving her. He's serving her absolute rubbish.
More?
Yes.
Is that enough?
Yeah, it's good for him.
Whoa, okay. That's a lot of fat.
I'd fix big meals and I'd eat and eat and eat. Because, there's not much more that I can do.
Huh? There's not much more that I can do. I just fix big meals and I eat. That's because you've given up. You've given up.
Where would you like me to set it?
Just set it at the end of my bed.
Is that all you need?
Yeah.
So it seems like she actually eats her dinner in her room. Is she doing that alone? And like the child is outside and he's like in his dark little cave up the end?
Need anything, holler.
Okay.
I'm going in here.
This is obviously very dysfunctional. It seems like, I guess, they're not actually in a relationship anymore. It's just he's feeling sorry for her and he's allowing her to stay there, and they've got the child together, obviously.
I literally think about food all the time. The only time I am not thinking about food is when I'm either in the bathroom or I'm sleeping.
And you know why that is? Because these individuals are actually eating low-carb diets. That's what the statistics show. Obese individuals are actually eating low-carb diets. They're not eating enough carbohydrates, and that's why they're, the healthy, normal-weighted individuals, they're actually eating the higher carb, more sugar as well, because sugar doesn't make you fat. You need to accept that if you're like in denial about that. Seriously, stop. Sugar does not make you fat. It's just monosaccharide glucose and fructose are two monosaccharides that make up sucrose, which is table sugar. They're the two main fuels for the human body, glucose and fructose. They make up sucrose. So it's actually very good for your body, and you can eat as much sugar as you want and it's not going to make you fat. I promise. But the fat, that's why these individuals are unsatisfied and they want to eat all the time, because they're not getting enough sugar. They're getting too much fat and not enough sugar. You heard it here first.
Hey, Zachary.
Yes?
Can you get my food and my drink, please?
Yeah.
I can't read.
See how she just said, will you get my food and my drink, please? She could have actually got up herself and got that. That bit of exercise would actually help her lose weight. But you can see she's very comfortable in this role of being a burden.
From here. Thank you.
Is she gonna lie down and eat? Oh, I feel so sorry for him. Oh gosh. I genuinely feel really bad for the child. You know, it might not be an overtly abusive household as in like physical or something like that, but you can see feeding your child like this, raising your child like this is definitely a form of what I'm talking about, child, you know, the other word. And not even associating with her son. Just got what, like the iPad in front of her, just got the food and not just blocking him out. Very, very sad.
When I first start eating, it's like the best thing in the world. It's like when you've won the lottery. It's just the greatest thing. It makes me feel so good about everything at that moment.
I don't know how she's comfortable lying down and eating. I don't know if there's many of you out there who do this, but I don't feel comfortable doing that.
But I know I eat at least 4 or 5 times more than I should. And now I see Zachary following in my footsteps, gaining weight and picking up the same bad eating habits that I have.
Well, duh. I mean, like, you're literally feeding him the rubbish that has made you morbidly obese. What do you think is going to happen to Zachary? Like,
And I'm worried. I wouldn't wish
You're not that worried.
this life on anybody, especially my own son.
Mom, I'm done. I think I'm gonna put it in the kitchen.
Okay.
I don't know why I can't stop eating. It's like a compulsive thing. It's like
Because you're malnourished, we need to get this woman on big, like plates of pasta, baked potatoes, as many as she wants. Just don't put the cheese on it. And to those of you out there who are doing this, get rid of the cheese. I'm telling you, this is just pure body fat. It's meant to grow a baby cow, double its birth weight in the first 6 months. It's meant to make big cows. You don't want to be a big cow, right? We're humans. We're human frugivores. Get rid of that pure solidified bovine secretion, pure body fat.
just need to eat it. I need to have it. I feel like it's going to make me feel better, and like it's going to solve, I guess, whatever going on with me right
And it's also addictive, the cheese.
then.
Hey, Zach, can you come get this plate? Thank you.
Welcome.
What an inspiring mother to have.
But after I eat, I hate myself. But 20, 30 minutes later, I'm ready to do it again and again and again. And it's like an endless cycle. I can never stop it.
Yeah, here we go. And she can stop it. And we know when they get to Dr. Now, hey, 99% of them, after just a visit with Dr. Now, do his deathly diet, and they actually start to lose weight. So she could have stopped at any point. It's all up here. She could just choose it, but she's choosing obesity. She's choosing morbid obesity.
I just snack on things all day long.
Oh. Did you see it roll over? Like, it's just like another human right there.
I've never really sat down and kept track of my calories. Honestly, I wouldn't even know where to start.
With the calories, you've got to understand this, okay? Because there is 9 calories per gram of fat, and there's 4 calories per gram of carbohydrates. So it doesn't matter about the calories. Like when you start eating high fiber, high carb foods, like a lot of them, you actually eat way more volume, a lot more volume because of all the fiber. And then the amount of calories comes right down because you're having that 4 calories per gram of carbs rather than the more than double at 9 calories per gram of fat. Let me know if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. It's really important to get this.
But I know I'm eating myself to death. My weight is out of control.
By the way, she's eating candy. You can eat candy. It won't make you fat, okay? I just don't recommend the stuff that has gelatin in it. Please just eat plant-based candy. It's okay. It won't make you fat. Whoops.
It's gotten really bad, though, as the years went on. I feel like I'm not living, I'm just existing. It's horrible.
Why are you choosing that? Why are you choosing this torture for yourself and for your family?
And if I don't change, I'm going to end up dying.
Look, obviously it's hard at this stage for her to turn things around. Very hard, but she had many, many chances leading up to now to stop that train, to stop that snowball into the, mountain, smashing into the mountain. And she had a chance to stop this progress, but she chose not to. But hopefully now things turn around. Gosh, let's hope she's not taking the car.
Today I'm heading down to Houston, Texas to see a doctor who I'm hoping can help me with my weight issues. My husband, James, and my son, Zachary, are going with me. If I get to Houston and Dr. Now won't take me on as a patient, it'll be devastating. Because I feel like he's my last option.
Tammy's health and well-being is at stake right now. If she goes down there and the doctor don't approve her, I don't see Tammy living for another 2 years. That's how bad her health is.
Yeah, he's probably right. 45, she's only a year older than me. Yeah, she could die easily, like now she could, but within the next couple of years for sure.
I'm really nervous about the trip, but I know I have to do it.
I'm nervous about the car trip too.
I've tried going on different diets over the years, but they never work. I've lost weight, gained weight, lost weight, gained weight.
Because you didn't fully educate yourself about how your body, taken the time, the hours, the weeks, the years to educate yourself on how your body actually works. And I recommend all of you do that. You get rid of all this diet noise, fad diet rubbish out there, and you actually learn about your physiology as a frugivore, as a human fruit-eating animal. That's what we are. And that makes it really easy to then realize what we're meant to eat if we actually learn the real basics of human physiology. Then you don't even care about all that fad diet rubbish.
It's like being on a constant roller coaster ride.
The fact that she can actually walk that far is impressive, right? Like she's like 600, she's probably over 600 pounds.
You gonna be okay?
In a few minutes.
And I'm not sure if my body can handle the trip because even something as simple as walking to the car wears me out. So what's a long trip gonna be like?
Oh.
Here's Zachary.
Wow, she didn't get rolled in the back. I'm impressed. She's sitting in the front. At least she's not driving.
The drive down to Houston is almost 17 hours.
So we have a couple of long days ahead of us.
Holy moly, 17 hours. There's going to be a lot of junk food stops, I'm sure.
This will be the longest trip I've taken at this weight and any weight for the last 10 years. There's a lot riding on this trip, and I can already feel it getting to me.
Right now, I'm lightheaded, but then I'm just feel achy.
She probably has, she's probably cutting off circulation to certain parts of her body, right? It's hard for the blood to get, the oxygen to get where it's meant to get, and that'll definitely leave you lightheaded.
You get out?
Yeah, I can try to stretch my legs.
I've gotten to the point where my health has gotten so bad that I can't do things that normal people take for granted. Just walking to and from the bathroom is a major ordeal. It's like running a marathon for me.
Yep, the heart is feeling it, and the organs are pressed with all that fat tissue. They're being pressed all the time.
It's so difficult to breathe.
Need any help?
Unless you can pick me up and carry me to the van.
No,
You ain't
can't do
no.
that.
Let's just take this
Here,
for a second.
Let me have this.
I'm sure he's being nicer for the camera.
We're barely a day into this trip and I am struggling.
Got it?
It's so hot. I feel dizzy. Like I'm going to pass out.
Well, she nearly just pulled him over.
You gonna be okay?
Be there.
Like, a number of these individuals can just die on the way to Dr. Now. Like, that's a real risk.
Do I need to call an ambulance?
No.
Huh?
No, I just gotta catch my breath.
You don't feel like you're gonna pass out?
Not yet.
Well, you let me know, you hear me? If I have to, I'll call an ambulance. Okay?
Yeah.
I can't continue living this way. And I've already come too far to turn around.
Got it?
Yeah.
Last night, I was too tired and achy to continue the trip, so we stopped at a hotel in Nashville. And now we're on the road again.
I wonder what they ate. We missed all the eating stops.
I'm so glad this trip is almost over because it has taken a big toll on my body.
My body's just physically worn out. It really is.
Gosh, I think he's probably sick of hearing that by this point.
I know it's been rough for you, Tammy,
It has.
but this is a good thing we're doing for you.
It's been a lot of miles and a lot of aches and pains and frustrations.
Oh.
But we finally made it to Houston, and I've
Wow, no, they didn't show any of their junk food stops. I'm surprised.
never been more worried in my life.
I'm worried about what the doctor's going to say today. Then I'm hoping that when I get out that I can actually walk into the doctor's office.
Okay, let's get to the doctor's office, shall we?
And I'm extremely nervous to find out how much I weigh because I know everything is riding on what's about to happen.
Yep, well, this is about what she thought, nearly 600.
It's terrible. I'm just totally in shock. When I seen the number come up on the scale, my heart just dropped. I know I need to do something. And I need to do it now. But I hate myself for letting it go that far.
Hello.
Hello.
How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
All right, I'm Dr. Nazardin.
I'm Tammy.
I'm James. This
How
is
you
our son,
doing?
Zachary.
How you doing?
Good.
All right, Tammy, tell me a little bit about yourself, and let's start by going over your eating habits.
They're not good.
Well,
I'm a carb eater. I love my carbs.
sorry. Obviously, they're not good.
And I emotionally eat.
Hang on. She said she likes the carbs. Hang on.
I'm a carb eater. I love my carbs.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. This is a very interesting theme over and over again, isn't it? These are people who are actually low carb eaters. If you look at the percentage of fat and carbohydrates that they're eating, it's actually low carb. So she's not actually a carb eater. She's not a carb lover. She's a fat lover and she's a fat eater, and that's why she's the size she is. Ay, ay, ay. There's so much miseducation. I'm not sure if they're doing that for the show too, because he's against carbs too. So maybe they're like, yeah, tell him that carbs are bad.
And I emotionally eat. I eat when I'm bored. I eat sweets.
So, how is your activity?
I don't do a whole lot.
We didn't see her eating any sweets, maybe just that like those like gummy bears, but all the rest was like lasagna loaded with fat and butter and
real short, out of breath. And so, I mean, besides walking, getting up, walking to the bathroom, things like that, I don't do a whole lot.
Okay. So you have gotten to a place where you just eat poorly all day long and you're not active.
Yes.
Okay, help me understand your dynamic at home. Do you get the food for yourself, or is he bringing you and insisting that you eat all that unhealthy food, or you asking for it?
He never tells me no. I don't think he wants to argue with me.
If I do say no, she gets angry.
Or-
So instead of arguing with her and fighting with her,
You take the easy way out.
yeah.
Dr. Now's like, yeah, you take the easy way out.
Yes,
All
I
right.
have.
So you control the situation, right?
Yeah.
And James, you help to take care of her, but in reality, you're the enabler.
Oh, I love that. He's probably never heard that, and he's probably like, he always use that excuse like, well, she gets angry at me, so I just give her what she wants. And now he's like, Dr. Now's like, no, you're an enabler.
That sound about right?
Yeah, yeah.
So this is the common thing. You get everybody to agree with you, and then you are the victim, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a situation that we have to address, and we're gonna have to change all that dynamic. So that means, Tammy, you stop manipulating everyone, and James, now you're gonna have to learn to say no and stop taking the easy way out by letting her slowly kill herself. Because Tammy, at your weight, you're already starting to break down and you're already having trouble getting around. So you need to make the decision that there is some responsibility for your part, that you need to change your eating habit or you're going to die.
Okay.
But let's lift it up and let me take a look at it and see what's going on with it.
Oh, the giant tongue. Just, I didn't know it was possible for the human body to get like this.
Very heavy.
Yes.
Yeah, this is just going to be a situation that's going to pull on her abdomen, because when you start gaining more weight than the body can handle, it has to find a place to store it. Some people gain all around, and others, the body picks spots and starts storing fat there. And your abdomen has an abnormal amount of weight on it. And the only way to correct this is for you to start losing weight, Tammy, and get to a place where we can do weight loss surgery on you. We have a unique situation with Tammy. She's almost 600 pounds, but most of her weight is collected in her abdomen and has formed a huge distended mass that has developed a lymphedema in it, so it is all pulling on her internal organs. And it is a very real possibility that with all that tension and strain, that it can start to create some internal bleeding that can become life-threatening. But before we remove it, we need to do weight loss surgery, because if we remove the mass and she gains weight, it will not only start to come back, but it will be worse second time around. But I'm very concerned by her history in the chart regarding her lungs. So we have a lot of issues to address with Tammy that We need to turn around immediately. So Tammy, you are diabetic
Yes,
and you have high blood pressure.
yes.
And
Yeah, so if she's diabetic, she's on a low carb diet, meaning she's got a higher percentage of calories coming from fat. And this is why she's diabetic, because fat, especially saturated animal fat, is the cause of diabetes.
COPD, which makes it hard to breathe. And this is all result of your weight. So I'm going to put you on a 1,200 calorie a day, low carb, high protein diet.
Yay.
And I want you to lose 40 pounds over the next month.
Okay.
And if you do that, and if there are no medical issues that we need to address first, then I will consider you for weight loss surgery.
Wow, so she only has to lose 40 pounds. That's a lot less than some other individuals. And yeah, and then she's eligible.
So we have a lot of work to do. And
Okay, so let's move on.
It used to be where we pretty much ate the same thing at night for dinner. But now I'm having to make meals.
Oh my goodness. So is that lard basically just pure body fat that she's putting on the tray before she puts whatever she's about to put in? Hang on, wow.
For them and a completely different one for me.
Why are you doing this to your family? Honestly, you do it to yourself, but you are like passing this on to others. You are like hurting others as well. It's really horrible, the fact that she put all that on when you can just make baked chips, right? If you didn't know, I have recipes in my books. You can just make baked chips on like, what is that baking paper? You can turn them. You don't even have to turn them. You just bake them. And they're fine, they taste great anyway. They don't need all this fat because these ones have already been cooked in fat and she's putting fat beneath them as well. So it's just a huge, big whammy of fat.
And it's hard because I see their food and it looks so good. I miss it. You know, that was my friend. But so far, I'm resisting the temptations. And I'm measuring how much I put into my mouth.
yeah.
So far, I think I'm doing pretty good. And I know this is something I have to do.
Do you have something to drink?
Look how sad that is. No rice, no pasta, no potatoes. Totally unnecessary for her to eat this way. And so little, 1,200 calories. But anyway, you know, this is how the show goes.
I just wish I knew what was going on with James. Because without his support, I don't know if I can do this. It's hard enough worrying about Zachary. But having to worry about them both is too much for me to handle.
Zachary,
What?
your dinner's in here. It's on the...
Zachary's like, what? Oh my gosh, if I ever spoke to my dad like that growing up, I could not answer like that. It is very rude.
counter in there. Don't have an attitude, and I mean it. I'm serious. If you don't eat, you're not getting back on that computer.
Oh, wow. Okay. Shit's going down right now.
Since I started this process, I figured I'd have more support. But James keeps disappearing more and more.
Just own it yourself. Like, be the example. Seriously, she can do it. She doesn't need all this support. She's obviously capable of making her own food. We've seen that. She can go to the toilet.
And it's really getting to the point it really bothers me. Because when I have...
But she's actually burdening him. He took her back in and they weren't even together because he felt sorry for her. I don't know, this dynamic is strange.
a bad day, I have nobody to talk to about it because he's gone. So I don't
Well, some people have to work too.
feel like he's there for me because how he responds to Zachary and how he's treating both of us right now is making it extremely difficult to do this. Because when everyone's tense and everything's like this, it just makes me want to eat.
Stop your excuses.
So I know I'm gonna have to talk to him because I can't keep going on like this.
No, see, this isn't fair. Her trying to change him, you know, when she's like, oh, you know, it's basically all his fault. He's probably stressed because he doesn't want to deal with this himself because, like, he's a healthy weight. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't realize, like, he has to work as well. She's not even working and she's asking for, I want him to do this, I want him to act like this, and he's probably very frustrated.
Oh. in the past, I have not asked much from you. I really haven't. But I wish
Yes, you have actually. Just being the size you are is asking a lot of assistance.
you'd stay around more. You're always leaving, and I do feel alone because this is important.
I know that.
You don't come in and say, "Hey, how's your diet going?" And once in a great while, you've asked me, and I don't have somebody sitting there asking me every day, "How are you doing? How'd you do today on your diet?"
Damn it, Tammy.
Stop asking him to change so you can feel better.
Usually,
You act like I don't do. I have been there for you. Who else has been there for you? Nobody.
I know. Well,
I have been there for the last 7 years. Who was the one that's been there for you? Me.
I'm taking his side here. She is being totally unreasonable. I mean, like, she's like, you're not around. You don't say, how's my diet going? You don't do this. It's like, what? Seriously, like, just because you've got a lot of time to sit around, not work, and just focus on yourself, self all the time, doesn't mean he wants to too.
There's been plenty of times I've asked you for help with things.
I mean, I may not be here all the time, 100%, but I have been your backbone for the last 7 damn years.
And I just need you around a little more. I need you to just be a little more supportive. Yeah, you take me to the store, and but I need you to be emotionally supportive.
I need you to be like this. I want you to change so I can feel something. This is a problem. Expecting others to change, like, in the way that she's asking so you can feel better. There's a problem with this way. It's not fair.
A lot of things. I understand that you have your life and you're busy and you're out doing your thing and everything, and that's fine. You have your life, and you're allowed to have your life. Just try to find a little time for me here and there.
I haven't been. Where would you be right now if you weren't here?
Thank you. Yes, where would you be right now if you were not here? If he did not take you in?
You tell me that. You would be out on the street, under a bridge, or you would be homeless if it wasn't for you being here.
She needs to be more grateful. Like, I'm not saying he's a saint or anything, but she's obviously got a lack of gratitude here. And going as far to say, oh, I want you to, like, ask me how I'm going and stuff. It's like, gosh.
I thought James was going to help me on this weight loss journey, but now I don't know if I can count on him anymore.
Help yourself.
And I'm scared because I'm not sure I can do this on my own.
I mean, she knows they don't have a good relationship, so that part was very strange. I didn't even think they were really in a serious relationship at all. He just took her back in.
It's been a hard month, but I've worked harder than I ever have to stick to the diet and do what I need despite all the tension at home.
He looks like he's actually getting bigger himself, and I'm not sure if she's lost anything.
But things just seem to be even worse between me and James.
Well, you are just staying in this relationship, and he's staying in it too, and it's just, obviously when you have the child together, it makes it a lot more hard.
And I feel so totally alone right now. To lose 40 pounds this past month. So that means I need to be at or below 551 today.
Oh, well, she did it. She did it. It was a small amount considering what he usually asks for, but excellent, she did it.
I'm happy.
Mm.
See, so she proved that she had it in her all along to lose the weight. She didn't need to have a cut. She could do an extreme diet. She disciplined herself to do it.
I really can't believe it. I'm so relieved because it's been rough at home. But all this hard work that I've did has been so worth it.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
How y'all doing?
We're good.
So you're 42 pounds lighter. You sticking to the diet, I see, huh?
Yes.
So you showed me that you're willing to work hard and make some of the changes you need. This is a good start for you. but I'm still concerned with the issue with your lungs.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that weight loss will help that.
Okay.
So here's what our next steps are. I'm approving you for weight loss surgery.
Thank you.
But I want you to make the move to Houston now
Oh, okay.
and commit to being down here for at least a year after surgery.
Oh my goodness, I don't know how that's going to work with these two. I don't think he's going to move with her, but how is she going to be able to afford it? How is she going to afford to be able to move to Texas? Like, there's a problem here.
So I can work with you and make sure that we can get you down to your target weight.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, I want you to stick with the diet and lose even more weight. Because the more weight you lose, the less strain there'll be on your lungs.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to let your guard down and go back and
I don't want
not
to slide
lose that
back.
much. So when you get back down here to Houston, if your lungs look like they're healthy enough, we will do weight loss surgery on you. Sounds good?
Yes.
Okay,
She's happy, and I'm happy for her.
great. Well, you're doing good. Keep it up.
Okay.
And we'll do your surgery soon.
Okay.
And I look forward to seeing you back in Texas.
Okay, next time you see us, we'll be down here.
All right.
Wow, okay, he's committing to going to Texas with her. Okay.
A couple days after we got home, things got even worse between me and James. We were just fighting more and more, and suddenly he told me he was done and he's moving out.
Well, he's actually moving out of his own place? Okay, so the guy's just had enough. He is done. And I get it. And they're obviously not good together. They just have to both accept it. And she has to stop being a burden and asking him to take her back. It's just a very unhealthy relationship.
So I'm in the process of helping him pack his things so that he can leave me. And he's given me no explanation or anything except he's just done.
Oh my God. She's like, he's giving me no explanation or anything. It's like, hello. I think you know. I think you know by now what the problem is after 7 years of fighting or whatever.
I have no idea what I'm going to do. And now that I'm completely on my own, there's no way I can move to Houston. So right now I'm stressed and I'm a little scared because I'm supposed to move to a totally different state, hundreds of miles away from anybody that I know, and try to do this all on my own with my 16-year-old son. And I'm so upset right now. I don't.
That's called taking responsibility for the actions, for the act of getting with someone, having a child. These are the responsibilities that come up in normal life.
Because I felt like I finally had this chance. And I was finally getting my life back together. And then James does this. This is so completely unfair, and it's not right.
Oh, she has been completely unfair to him for many, many years. We can see that.
When all this first started, I believed I had this big, huge support group. But now, all I have is myself and Zachary. Everybody else is gone. So,
See, feel the victim mentality here? Like, oh, it's so unfair. What people have done to me, what he did to me, it's unfair. Rather than actually looking within and going, hey, I created this situation. I'm not surprised that it ended up like this.
it sucks when you feel like you're totally alone. All my life, people have let me down or abandoned me.
Oh, strong, strong victim mentality right here.
I guess I should have known that this wouldn't be any different. This whole
Okay, I've had enough of the complaining. Let's move on.
Since James told me he was moving out, my whole world has been turned upside down. James at least did tell me that there's another woman he met, and he's in love with her. I don't know how long this affair has been going on, but moving to Houston seemed to push James to the breaking point. But
I'm not surprised he's going with someone else. I'm just not.
he said he wanted to come over today and talk with me, and I told him okay. I haven't told Dr. Now what's happened between us because I don't want to lose this chance. So I've told him that it's taken me longer to move to Houston. But I'm not sure I can do this on my own. No matter what happens, I have to do this. And I'm determined to get my life back.
Okay, month 4.
Today is my first appointment with Dr. Now since moving to Houston. I'm really scared I haven't been doing enough for my diet after I found out James was in love with another woman. I've been
Here we go. So she's using this as an excuse to gain weight.
so stressed out because I've had a few slip-ups. I just don't know what I'll do if I've gained weight.
Well, we're here.
Yeah.
So it seems like James is here in Texas with her. They must have made up again, I guess, temporarily. Let's get to the scales.
Now told me to keep making progress. So I'm hoping I at least made it down to the lower 500s today.
Oh gosh, I hope she didn't gain. Oh, well, yeah. Oh, damn. Yeah, she really lost quite a bit. She is shocked herself. See, like, look how happy she is. She proved it to herself that she didn't even need weight loss surgery to lose weight. Yes, it's a terrible semi-starvation diet, but it just shows that she has the discipline. Like, she can do it. She has the ability within herself all the time to actually achieve this weight loss. So there you go. She doesn't have some food addiction or anything like that. She's definitely capable, and she's so happy. It's very good to see her that happy.
Did good. I can't believe it. I set a goal for myself and I actually did it.
So now the question comes in, why then get the weight loss surgery? Why just continue as you're going? Because, my stomach just grumbled. You've already proved it to yourself that you can do it without the surgery.
But it doesn't feel as good as it should.
Yeah, because there's a lack of carbs.
Because I'm here alone.
Hello.
Hey, Tammy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
All right. So you have moved down to Houston and stuck to your diet.
Yes.
You lost another 53 pounds. That's very good.
Yeah.
So you have almost lost 100 pounds. And that's a lot of weight off your body. Do you feel better?
Yes. But I have been very stressed for the last few weeks, trying to get everything together to get down here. And my husband and I have been having problems. So
what's happening between you and your husband?
well, he's in love with another woman. But we haven't really been an actual couple as a husband and wife. You know, he was just more or less
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
my caregiver.
Okay, all that's not how you presented your relationship to me. So that is a big concern, because if you don't have a support system at home, this is going to become much more difficult for you.
Oh, I feel it's actually going to be easier for her not to have him around. Right? This is so much stress to have, like, for them to be together.
Well, James is still going to be helping me. We're just not going to be together.
So it's complicated, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to catch up with you emotionally and cause you to come crashing down.
Okay.
So we need to deal with it now. And I think it's best that we delay your weight loss surgery a little longer so you can start therapy to address this.
Okay, so let's move along. Okay, month 5.
I'm really excited because Dr. Now said I was ready to move ahead with weight loss surgery.
She's moving around well now, isn't she? She's carrying a basket even, which is adding more weight to what she has to carry. Impressive.
He got a good report from therapy, so he scheduled me for a couple weeks from now. And after talking with a therapist, I realized I need to become more independent. James has always done a lot for me, but it always comes with strings attached.
Of course, because he has his own life to live as well.
So I need to begin doing things on my own. Who would think that just being able to do a load of laundry would be such a big accomplishment? but it is for me.
That's very cool to see her doing laundry. That's amazing. Remember when she walked to the toilet and back? That almost killed her.
And I'm excited to do this, especially since James is leaving soon. And it's just gonna be me and Zachary.
Oh, hang on.
Tammy? Are you okay? Tammy?
Tammy. Tammy, do you need a nurse?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Are you, Tammy?
Huh?
I need you to wake up. I'm gonna call emergency.
Mom?
Oh, gosh. This is so bad for the kid, for Zachary to see.
Mom? Are you okay? Are you okay? Come on.
I mean, we have to remember here that she is on this low carb, low calorie diet. So she's experiencing a glucose deficiency most likely now, and then something associated with that. So yeah, she's on a very, very dangerous diet right now.
Come on, Mom.
I'm gonna need help up in a minute. My hands are numb. Do me a favor.
What?
Go get me a chair. I need something stable.
Her blood sugar is probably incredibly low.
What happened? You all right? Are you?
The husband comes out. I mean, well, it's not really the husband, is it? Or he comes out after all the drama's ended.
Okay?
Okay, I'm fine.
What happened?
Got dizzy. Yeah, my hands are numb.
Next time you have somebody with you.
The point of me doing
I know,
this-
Tammy, but next time you can totally pass out and nobody will be there.
I'm so frustrated right now. Just as I start to feel better, this happens. And I'm right back where I started, with James telling me what to do and how to feel.
Oh gosh.
I was at 496, and I'm hoping my weight loss hasn't slowed at all.
Oh my goodness. She is just going like she's losing a lot. She's losing it probably too fast. Definitely too fast, and that's to do with the low carb, low calorie, obviously. So, and she's getting the head spins and.
Wow.
Oh my Lord. Good job.
I'm relieved that I'm still losing weight, but it would be devastating if there was a serious issue with my lungs. So I just
She has had no problem sticking to this like super, super high disciplined diet.
hope everything is all right.
We're adding some tests on Tammy right now and taking some x-ray of her lungs so I can see what's going on.
All right, let's take a deep breath in. Blood out.
I am worried that her fainting is related to the fact that her lungs have been so weak for so long, and
More to do with the terrible diet you put her on.
she could develop a life-threatening issue. And if that's what's happening, then we need to treat it before her condition gets even worse. How y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
All right, so you passed out?
Yeah,
So you're not feeling dizzy at this moment?
no. Usually it happens
She didn't seem like she fully passed out.
once I get up, move around. It's just been the last few days.
Well, from your test, your blood pressure is okay, your heart rate is okay, so it's most likely pneumonia.
It's most likely glucose deficiency.
That combined with how weak your lungs have been led to you overexerting yourself and passing out. So with this issue, I think we're going to cancel your surgery because last thing we want to do is put too much strain on your body, then you won't survive the operation. So we have to do this to be safe.
Okay.
And during that time, you need to work to try and keep making progress. I know this is disappointing and frustrating, but if you keep it up, I promise we'll get you there. But you have to get healthier first.
Okay.
All right.
It's been a tough couple of months. I've been depressed since Dr. Now canceled my surgery. But I've tried to stay on track, and I'm starting to feel better.
Tammy Morrell?
I was at 451 the last time I was here, and I'm hoping to be in the 300s.
He's looking smaller, definitely looking smaller.
I just hope that I'm finally healthy enough to get approved for surgery today. Because I'm not sure I can do this for another month.
413.
Not too bad.
Another 38 pounds.
I'm really disappointed I didn't hit my goal today. And I'm worried about what Dr. Now is going to say.
What do you mean? He's going to be happy with this. This isn't like about the weight loss now. This is about being healthier. So I'm not sure what the problem is.
I just don't think I can handle any more bad news.
Hello.
Hello.
How y'all doing?
Good.
All right. So how you feeling, Tammy?
Feeling better.
All right. You have been free of pneumonia for about 5 weeks now.
Yeah.
Your blood pressure is good and everything is getting better. So if your heart and lungs sound good, then we can move ahead.
Okay.
But for surgery, you're going to be laying down for a while with all your weight pushing down on your organs, especially your lungs. So I need to hear how they are doing at that stage. So if you get up on the table, I can check your heart and everything and see if we can approve you for surgery, huh?
Okay.
All right. All right, go ahead, lay down.
I'm really nervous right now.
Take a deep breath.
I have to have this surgery.
So stay in here. We're going to get the EKG, and I'll be back and talk to you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Tammy's lungs and heart sound good. But I want to run an EKG to make sure there are no overall issues still lingering. And if everything is okay, we're going to proceed with weight loss surgery. Hopefully, everything looks good, and her tests all show that she's ready.
I hope all that went well.
Okay, so I have the results from all your testing. And your EKG looked normal, and you kept up with your weight loss. So I'm approving you for weight loss surgery.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And we'll get you in tomorrow so you don't have to wait anymore.
Whoa.
Okay?
All right, thank you.
Y'all have a good day.
You too. You have a good day.
So
Just think in a few minutes you'll be, and then you'll wake up and you'll be in your room.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's going in for the weight loss surgery.
I've been home from the hospital for about a week now. And I'm still really sore and having a hard time getting up and walking. But I have to pull myself together.
Okay, month 10.
Things have continued to improve over the last month. Zach is doing a lot better. And I feel like I'm making some really good progress. I haven't been grocery shopping by myself without another adult with me in a good 10 years or more.
Oh, wow. 10 years since she's gone grocery shopping without another adult. Hopefully by this point she can make good choices, but you know, she's been on this terrible diet, so she hasn't actually got education. We'll see.
I feel like with all my weight loss, doing more and doing it with Zach is making us so much closer. And that's been an unexpected surprise. That's been wonderful.
What's that?
That would be grapefruit juice.
Oh, okay.
I'm not surprised he doesn't know what a grapefruit looks like. Probably a lot of fruit is foreign to him.
Goofy butt.
It's a giant orange, pretty much. A year ago, I would not have been able to go out with my mom like today. And I am very proud of my mom's progress.
You want to get me some veggie broth?
I love being able to be active and know that I can go into a store and walk a store, and I want to go out because I know I can do now.
That is really great. That is so great that she's walking so far now and that she got veggie broth. That's the only thing they showed that she bought, which is a bit strange.
And I didn't want to do that before. And doctor now told me that I'm really close to qualifying for the removal of this huge mass on my stomach. So my goal is to work hard and qualify for that by the next time I see him.
I definitely need to do a check-in on them episode. So I'm not sure if there's any available that are, look, it's hard for me to actually download them here in Australia. So if you can get the checking in on them episodes, then I can definitely watch them and react to them. But yeah, it's difficult for me to download them here. I can't download them here in Australia. Okay, 1 year later. Or month 10, 12.
Today, we're at Dr. Now's office. It's been about a year since I began this journey, and I've never done anything harder in my life. But I think I've made the progress that Dr. Now expects.
And she proved to herself that she could do it. It was hard, but it's worth it.
I made it down to 413 last time. But today, I'll be happy to just be in the 300s.
Oh, wow. She's dropping it pretty quick.
She must be proud.
She is walking very easily now. Like considering she still has that mass, she is walking wow, 246 pounds. Well done. Well done.
The numbers on the scale were awesome. I'm just so happy about that. I can't remember the last time I was under 400 pounds. I have lost so much weight since I started this process. And just to feel that, just to see that, it's amazing.
Dr. Now's going to be proud.
Hello.
Hello.
How y'all doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
All right. So you lost almost 250 pounds. Well, how's your life changed since you started the program?
I mean, I can do so much. Just getting out, doing things, not having to depend on people, just, take care of myself. I don't have to have somebody else take care of me. Doing things with my son, Zachary, it's really great. It's incredible.
Okay.
That's a great result.
Well, you're doing great, and I'm very proud of you. And if you lose another 20 pounds in the next month, then I think you'll be ready for the skin mass in your stomach to be removed. And
That's going to be a big operation.
you're going to be able to do more skin surgery.
Yeah.
And that's going to get you to your ideal body weight within 9 to 12 months. So you're going to be down to 170 pounds.
Yeah, that would be incredible. I can't even remember being 170 pounds.
Yeah, like the last time, remember you were like 16.
I was probably in my early teens.
Early teens.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. We're going to get you there. Well, despite how interesting your year has been, you didn't give up and you worked hard. So, Tammy, I'm proud of you. You've done great. Keep up the good work. And I look forward to seeing you next month.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, that was nice. Wow, that's amazing. Like I'm surprised. I'm always surprised by the end. I'm kind of surprised, but then I'm getting more used to these individuals actually stepping up and doing it. And like they had it within them all the time, and you do too. If you're in a position where you're obese, you're morbidly obese, you have it within you. If you're not changing it, you're choosing it. You've got to get rid of the excuses and realize that if they can do it, you can do it. They're sticking to some terrible, super high discipline requirement diet when you don't have to do that. You can do raw till 4. Raw till 4 is going to be actually, where's the book gone? Pleasant for you. Raw till 4 is actually going to be pleasant for you. You can eat as much as you care for. And yeah, you don't have to restrict the carbs, restrict the sugar. You can have all the sugar you want. It's important to still move your body. I don't expect you to just sit around, like I'm not recommending you just sit around all day and just eat the diet and not worry about it. But still, it's healthy, it's close to your species-specific diet. So, and it's low in fat. That is the most important thing. It's low in fat. So yeah, check it out. There's a link in the description below. Change your life today. It's your choice. It's your choice. And you have it within you to improve your life. So don't forget to go fruit yourself, and I will see you soon for the next episode. And if you can get that, what's the guy's name? The Asante brothers or something like that. If you can get that episode to me, or a couple of those episodes, then I'll be able to react to them, but I can't download them here in Australia. So just letting you know. All right.